Hello, this is Sonja from My Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. Today I'm going to do prompt number 14 and 15 in my Junk Journal July, which is hosted by Meg Journals, and I will leave her details down below if you want to join us. I'm looking for a double spread page because I want to do today's prompt, which is check texture and nature on 2 pages together. And I'm going to use obviously my texture paint for texture, and I'm going to use this beautiful serviette or tissue paper for nature. I love the colors, it's beautiful. So I'm going to choose both of them and I'm going to put it on either side of the pages, as I said, to make a double spread. So first of all, I'm going to cover the pages with some old book pages like dictionaries and music sheets and things like that. Because first of all, I wanted to cover that embroidery stitches, which I've, on the other side, I've put some material, and the other side, it's one of my other spreads. So I've done that. So obviously I wanted to cover it. So this is just going to be one of the ways I'm going to create some texture. So as I said, I'm using dictionaries, and there's an old book also. And then I'm also going to use a little music book that belonged to my mother. I'm just showing you there. She used to be a kindergarten teacher, and this is the book she used to teach to do music with the kiddies. I mean, it's not a personal book, it was just a textbook, so I thought it would be fun to use it, and I love the color of the pages also. I didn't mind how big the square pieces is, which I am using my gel medium to put on because I knew it's going to be covered, and I just wanted the text and the music and the dictionary just to come through at the end after I'm going to put my gesso over it. So as I said, I'm just using my gel medium. It was quite difficult to glue on, I didn't know why, but I did manage it at the end. As you can see, I've done both sides. And now I'm just going to go in with my gesso, and I'm using my silicone brush to do that, and I'm watering it down a little bit. And then because it's quite streaky, I'm going to go in with my hands and a baby wipe to make it a little bit more smooth. As I said, the silicone brush is, I think, very good with gesso and gel medium because it's very easy to clean, but obviously it is a little bit streaky. But if you don't mind using a baby wipe or your hands just to make it smooth again, that's okay. So here I'm going to go in with my water brush to just cut off the bit of the flower I want. Now, if you don't know this method, you just use a water brush or a brush you dip into water, and you go alongside the lines where you want actually what bit of the serviette or your tissue paper you want. Now, the water creates a nice soft organic way for you to tear around it, because obviously if you use your scissors, it's going to be a bit of a hard line, and the whole idea with a tissue paper and serviette is that you almost want to, it must look like it melt into your page, and you've almost water painted it or used acrylic paints to do it yourself. So yeah, so I'm just showing you how to do that. And it was a little bit more difficult than with a serviette because this tissue paper was much more sturdier. It's almost like, I won't say it's a wrapping paper, but it was definitely much more sturdier than a serviette. So it was quite difficult to go organically around it. So the edges look a little bit harder, and when you put your gel medium over it, it's not going to look very sort of melted in there. I'm going to sort that out in a minute. So I find it easier just to use my glue stick to first of all put the serviette or the tissue paper on there, just to glue it on. I think if you use a wet medium, it feels to me the tissue paper tears when you put it on, and if you don't put it in the right place and you lift it up, there's just chances that it can tear. So I'm going in with my gel medium, and I'm just going over it. You can do Mod Podge also, whatever you prefer, but I'm just doing it from the inside out just to make it nice and blend in. And now I'm going to go and do the other side also. And I'm just choosing the side which flower I'm going to choose. And I decided to use that one because I first wanted to use of the hard edge of it to put on the bottom of my page, but I end up not doing it. So it looks a bit awkward, but as I said, I'm going to show you later how I solve that problem with the edges a little bit harsh. Now I'm just showing you again how to use the water brush, because when I started art journaling and Bible journaling, everything was new to me. I didn't know how to do anything, and I appreciated when people showed me exactly how to do it and maybe repeat it. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm just showing you how to do it again. So this is my second piece. And as I said, I should have really put the heart line, which is there on the right hand side, or left hand side, sorry. But now I've decided I'm going to go in with my gesso, and I'm just going to create this blending lines to make it nice and soft, that it almost look, this is acrylic painting, and this is almost part of it. So I think that was fairly successful, and I like how that looks. So I'm going to use this stencil, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite stencils, and I'm obviously going in now with the texture paste because I want to create more texture. And yes, my texture paste, it was first too dry, so I put some powder in there, baby powder, and then it was too hard again. But luckily, with the paint, if you mix it with the paint activated and make it a little bit softer. So I made this beautiful green, which I absolutely love. I just wanted to put it everywhere. And I'm going to go and use the stencil now, and I'm trying to put it especially there where the heart lines is at the edge of the serviette, create these art marks. And I'm going to do, I think, 3 on each page, some a bit bigger than others. So I must say I love how this page turned out. This is probably one of my favorite pages in the book, and it came much easier than the previous prompt. If you watch my video, you will see I struggled a little bit. I wasn't sort of very inspired. I sort of didn't really have lots of ideas for that one, but I think it was quite interesting watching the video. So if you haven't watched that video, I will link it down below here, so if you can watch it, yeah, if you want to watch that. So this is how it looks, and then I wanted to use some more of that texture paste because it was so pretty, and I decided to use this stencil. But I first wanted to test it out to see if it's going to work, because it's got phrases like moments, memories, family, and things like that on. So I've just put it on that book page just to see if it's going to come through. But as you can see, you can hardly see it. Even if it's on that script, it was just not bold enough. So I'm deciding to use this stencil, which is like a bullet stencil, bullet journaling stencil. And I'm just using some of that numbers, and I'm trying just to use some random numbers next to each other. I think I've done 3, 4, and 5 that side. So that's how it looks. And then I'm going to go in with the others 6, 7, and 8, I think, because obviously it's difficult. You can't just use random numbers. You need to have it next to each other. So that's how that looks, and I love how that turned out. That is just makes a little bit of an interest. Then I want to use this bee stamp, which is a creative retreat stamp, which I've won once in a competition. But I didn't like how this bumblebee looked. It looked a little bit doodly to me, and this is more a whimsical page. And it didn't stamp very well either, so I had to go back in there and try again. And then I decided I want some butterflies, and I'm getting this stamp out with some butterflies and some dragonflies also. The butterfly looked beautiful. That looks exactly as I wanted it, but the dragonfly, unfortunately, that was a bit of a flop. But it's difficult to stamp on this pages because there's obviously lots of dimension on these pages. So I'm just showing you how it looks. So I'm going to go now in with my alpha stamps just to put my prompts down there, because I try to make it create a uniformity in this book and make sure that all my prompts looks the same. Decided to back it with this beautiful washi tape, and I was glad to bring some more green in there. I love the color palette of this journal. I must say the green are really growing on me with the pinks and things like that. So now I want to get rid of that bee, but I forgot I didn't stamp it with permanent ink. So obviously the moment I put the gesso on there, it sort of made a blotch. It became wet again. So I just cut another bit of that flower out from my tissue paper, and now I'm just putting it on top of there. I don't know how successful I was, but luckily with this method, it's fine. It all blends in. It all looks very artsy. And now it just looks basically, I've painted this with acrylic paint, and this is just sort of part of the painting. And I've done exactly the same on the other side also. I got rid of the bee, and now I'm just going back in with my butterflies. So as I said, I love how this turned out. I hope you enjoyed watching me doing it. Yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your comments also. If you like this video, please do give it a like. And if you have subscribed, please do so. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm hopefully speaking to you in 2 days' time. And have a nice day, and I'm leaving you with a close-up photo. Bye-bye.